Stuka Joe here, and we are live on another unannounced video. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of technical stuff, even practicing today, a lot of tests, but today we're going to show a game, because after all, this is a wargaming channel, and this is a game that you probably haven't heard of. This is Santander 37. This is a game that I got at the Bellota Con. It's a Spanish publisher, and it's about a campaign which is part of the Spanish Civil War. And we're going to be taking a look at the game today. This is a game that's designed by Javier Romero, and it's a folio game. It's a game that only includes the campaign in the north after the Basques surrendered. In the Spanish Civil War, you had the nationalists fighting in the north, the Basques, and you will see that the Basques are also present in the game because not all of them surrendered. They kept on fighting. The map is a paper map, and it's smaller than a regular size map. It shows the north of Spain and the area around Santander. And you can see Santander right there. And it says in Spanish, Guía Militar de Carreteras de España. It's like a military road map. So that it appears to be the map that the designer used as to do this one. And it looks really interesting. It has fortified lines, mountains, very mountainous territory. And we see that the Santanderinos, which are fighting for the Republic, will be defending against the nationalists that will be attacking from the south, from these areas that you see here that have these arrows. That's where the nationalists begin, and they will be coming through that particular zone. Now, let's take a look at the terrain features that the map includes, and there is a terrain key here in the top part of the map. There's, of course, clear terrain, there's hills, mountains, and that's denoted by that red border that you see in some of the spaces. There's rivers, roads, cities, villages, objectives, and some hex sides are also impassable. The map also includes certain tracks. In all Civil War games of the Spanish Civil War, they're always keeping track of Republican morale, and here you see Republican morale being kept of. It's not very complex. It goes from 1 to 5, and it has certain effects in the game. We'll talk about some of the rules. I read the rules for like a week ago, and I've read the rules like of 3 games, so I don't want to mix rules up. But as most Civil War games of the Spanish Civil War, they keep track of Republican morale. Now, there's rules in this game that force the Republicans to conduct an offensive, so we'll see those. And we have our turn record track, and it's only 7 turns, and there's spaces here for weather, which affects air operations, poor and fair. I like the style of the map. I think it's nicely done. And what else? We have areas for each of the sides to place their air assets. For example, this is, I'm sitting on the nationalist edge, which you see here, but the Republican edge is over there, so that's where the Republican player takes care of the air assets that he plays. And there's also, let me see here, a terrain overview. I hadn't seen this. Okay, all hexes on the map are clear except for the area between the 2 dotted borders. Okay, so here we see like an explanation how the map works. Okay, the counters in the game, they are, I think they're half an inch or 9/16 of an inch. It's just one counter sheet. We'll be taking a closer look. And let's take a closer look now. We see, for example, the green units. Those are the ones that are Republican units in the game. The color scheme is a little different from other Spanish Civil War games. You would see purple and you would say, oh, that's a Republican unit. Well, purple in this game is nationalists. So you have green are Republicans, and there's different types of Republican units. You have some are Santanderinos and other are Basques. Let me see which are which here. Here you see we're taking a look at Republican units. You have armored units, and you have some units like these here, which these are the air assets, the air units. You have the regular attack, defend, and movement allowance. And when it is encased in a circle, it's a motorized unit. And the infantry units that you see here, some are upside down in the counter. The numbers are attack, defense, and movement. But then there's a stacking value that you can see in these lines that you see on top of the NATO symbol. That's the stacking value. So each one of these units, there will be 3 stacking points. And there's also the parent unit that they belong to. So you see a lot of units here from the 49th Republican Division there. And we have Joelson Travasos. Nice to see you, Joyce. And let's keep on going down here. Take a look at other counters. Here we see now nationalist counters. You have their air units, tanks, and you see these trucks. In this game, they're called logistic units, and you can use logistic units to gain column shifts, but they're spent and they're gone for the game. And you can see that for example, the nationalists have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these logistical units. When you take a look at the zoom out a little bit here, the Republicans, they only have 1 logistical unit. So, and that reflects the precarious supply situation that the Republic, and specifically this enclave, because the Santanderinos were surrounded by nationalists, and they could not connect with the Republican zone. So I guess that's the way the game reflects their limited resources in terms of logistics. So here we see that the nationalists are in this color gray. I said purple, well, they're actually gray. So these purple units must be, they must be Republican. I just don't know which ones they are. So here we see you got German units in brown, the Condor Legion. We have also the Italians are present here, the CTV, Corpo de Troppo Volontario. They're present. They participate in this campaign. But most of the nationalist units are these units that you see here. The flag units, those are headquarters. So you have headquarters. The headquarters, I believe, also give you some column shifts in combat. Incredible. I read the rules like a week ago and can't remember a lot of stuff. So, but this is a game that I want to put on the table because it's, you know, after you read the rules for a game, you know if you want to play it. Because some things click and others don't. And in this one, everything clicked. So we have here some markers here. And the markers that we see here are disorganization markers. And in this game, units get disorganized. There's 3 levels of disorganization. And the effect is that movement and combat is halved. But if you get a disorganization level 0 marker, you can remove it at the end of the turn. But if you can't remove it at the end of the turn and the next turn you get disorganized again, then you get a disorganized level 1 marker. And that can get worse. You can get disorganized level 2. And what happens is that the most you can do in a turn in which you're supplied at the end of the turn is remove 1 level of disorganization. So units can get disorganized heavily and not be able to remove those levels of disorganization. And here we see this other marker with the arrows there. I think that's the concentric attack. No, actually that's the trenches marker, okay? So that provides a -1 die roll modifier in combat and in bombardment. So, and then there's an interesting aspect of this game is that marker that you see there, Reynosa. That was an arms factory that was in Santander at the a key military facility. The factory in real life fell intact to the nationalists. The Santanderinos did not demolish it. And the workers refused to do so. And of course, the nationalist advance was fast enough to prevent it. But so in this game, at the start of the Republican phase, in game turn 4, we have to roll a die to see if the workers destroy the factory or if they don't. So it's a little chrome that we have there. And I think that the Reynosa is worth a victory point at the end of the game. That's my best recollection. And here we have the Ofensiva Republicana counter. So that's a rule in this game that forces the Republicans to conduct an offensive. I'm trying to remember how that worked. Let me see if I can find it here. Yes, here he is. In turn 3, during the Republican offensive step of the nationalist player phase, this occurs during the nationalist player's turn. So this is a rule that obviously doesn't help the Republic. So what you do is, in the beginning of turn 3, during that Republican offensive step of the nationalist player phase, you roll a die to check whether the Republican offensive takes place. And that Republican offensive, basically the Republican Central Command had promised that they would launch a major offensive to relieve pressure and to force Franco to move forces away from the north, which is where this game occurs. And the offensive did take place in central Aragon, and it was aimed at conquering Zaragoza. And the initial Republican attack managed to surround Belchite. There was a battle there. And even though Franco sent part of his air force and troops to relieve the besieged town, it did little to affect the nationalist forces here in this front. So this is a rule that we may have in the best case for the Republic. It's going to divert nationalist units away. So basically, on a roll of 1 to 4, the nationalist player withdraws 3 steps of infantry units. On a 5 to 6, it's 5 steps. So this is a chance to try to get rid of some nationalist units in the game with the Ofensiva Republicana. So those are the counters. So the counters here. This is the back of the counter. I like the artwork. This is a game that I may do a playthrough video. Who knows, even live. This is not a long game to play. I think it's 7 turns. And It's a folio game. The company Snafu is based in Barcelona. This is their second game, designed by Javier Romero, which I like his games. He's a very prolific Spanish designer. He also designed a game that I think I will be doing a video on, which I did an unbagging, which is for World at War magazine. That's Balkans 1944. So that may be coming up. This particular video that you're watching today is really me just testing this equipment here, just to show you here. This is a keyboard. For example, I can quick in here and I can get quick out. And this is like a slow in. And after the slow in, and then there's a slow out also. But I'm going to do a quick out because otherwise it takes too much time. So this is what I'm working with. My idea, my objective is to do more live stream videos, but of things that can be helpful, like unboxing, overview videos. I'm going to still do my edited videos, but I want to do more live streaming videos because I can do them in English and I can do them in Spanish also. I got a lot of subscribers in Spain, and because I have limited time, the editing takes a lot of time, so I intend to use live stream more. I already did a playthrough series on the Malta game. What's the name? Malta Besieged. That was kind of fun, but that was a simple game. So I'm starting with simpler games. I think there are many games that can be played live with an audience and can be entertaining. Not all games televise well. I mean, there's huge games that would be completely unplayable live. And that's the idea behind all this camera work and everything that I've been working on this week. So this is where I am leaving here. This is Santander 37, a game designed by Javier Romero and published by Snafu. This was published last year. I don't know where you can get this game. I don't know if maybe Noble Knight has one, but not sure. And I will probably do more content of this game because it looks really interesting. So I'm looking forward to doing some more live streams. Let me know what you think. And if you have any ideas of what could be interesting for live stream, besides the usual Talking Heads video, which that's what I want to do, something different. Leave your idea in the comments. Let me know. And this is Stuka Joe, signing off for now. Thanks for watching.